Already I had discussed about the advanced marketing management. I covered some points about meaning and definitions of marketing management, traditional marketing management and modern marketing management, and the steps involved in marketing process are discussed. Today I am going to discuss about the marketing environment. The marketing environment. See, the responsibility of the company is to understand the environment first, because the company has to adapt the fast changing environment. Environment is not static, it is changing day by day. So the marketer has to know the changing environment which is changing at the present day. Right? I mean that if you are the marketer, your responsibility is to understand the surrounding environment what you have. Because why you have to understand the environment or marketing environment? Every day you have to deal with the environment. There may be a lot of forces which are affecting to you, and that environment is not static, it is always changing day by day. So that's why the prime responsibility of the marketing manager is to understand the marketing environment which is surrounded by you, right? And what is marketing environment here? The marketing environment consists of the actors or the forces outside marketing that affect marketing management's ability to build and maintain successful relationship with the target customer. What is marketing environment? Marketing environment deals with the forces or the actors outside marketing activity, outside marketing, which will affect marketing management's ability to build and maintain successful relationship with the target customers. Already we had discussed about how to build a good relationship with the target customer, right? If you have to build a good relationship with the customer, you have to understand the surrounding actors or the forces outside the marketing activities. For example, like YouTube companies constantly watch and adapt to the changing environment. I mean, YouTube is also one of the company. It is always adapting the changing environment. Before going to know this one, I mean marketing environment, right? Environment is not static. It is always changing in dimensions. So that's why we have to understand what is marketing environment and what are the forces that affect marketing environment at present day, right? And two types of marketing environment we are identifying. That is first one, that is micro environment and macro environment. Internal or external, it is called as what? Internal environment and external environment, right? So first of all, we should discuss what is a micro environment. Micro environment means the actors close to the company that affects its ability to serve its customer. It consists of the actors very close to the company. I mean that micro environment is surrounded by the company at all. I mean it is within the company, within the organization, right? I mean it consists of, micro environment consists of the actors close to the company that affects its ability to serve its customers. Isn't it? I mean, so there are so many forces which will affect to the marketer to serve its customer. So what is that? Marketing management job is to build, for example, special the main intention of the marketing management is to build a good relationship with the customer by creating customer value and satisfaction. However, marketing managers cannot do this alone. All the people, there may be so many people will come, so many forces will come to satisfy the customers and to create the customer value, right? So here there are the factors influencing on micro environment. For example, there is, so see this diagram, the company, what are the components of micro environment? That is the company, the supplier, the marketing intermediaries, competitors, public, and customers. So majorly here, right, marketers must work in harmony with the company's departments to create customer value and relationship. And suppliers, of course, they are also playing an important role. They are also playing an important role. They are also playing an important role in creating superior value among the customer. That is what suppliers. In creating value for the customer, marketer must partner with the firms in the company's value delivery network. And the another important thing is that customers also, right? Customers are the most important actors in the company's micro environment. The aim of the entire value delivery system is to serve target customers and to create strong relationship with them. So this is about what the brief information. Let we should discuss one by one. That is the company. How the company will affect to the marketing manager's decisions. See, if you are the marketing manager, if you have to design the marketing plans, marketing management takes the other company groups into account. For example, such as what top level management, finance department, research and development department, purchasing department, production department, and accounting, whatever it may be. I mean that the company is having the various departments. It has to consider the opinions of all the departments. All these departments have to be interrelated groups from the internal environment. For example, top management, who is cited at the top level executive will set the company's mission, objectives, and the different strategies, as well as what he will formulate the different policies. So that's why marketing managers make decisions within the broader strategies and plans made by the top level management. So that's why company is also, already I discussed that, company is also one of the important, the company marketers have to work in harmony with the company's departments to create customer value and relationships. Okay, next point, suppliers. Suppliers also one of the important forces are the actors in the micro environment. Suppliers form an important link in the company's overall customer value delivery network. Suppliers will form an important link in the company's overall customer value delivery network. They provide the resources needed by the company to produce its goods and services. Supplier problems can be seriously affect the marketing. Suppliers problem can be, of course, suppliers will face a lot of problems. If you are the company, you are producing the goods and services, you have to build a good relationship with the supplier also, isn't it? So that's why the problems of the suppliers can be seriously affect the marketing activities, right? The marketing managers must watch supply availability and cost. How we have to supply the goods and services, and what is the cost of supply, the supply shortages, as well as what the delays, right? Supply shortages and delays. The marketer has to consider the labor strikes, natural disasters, and other events can cause sales in the short run, as well as what damage customer satisfaction in the long run, right? So that's why rising supply cost may force price increases that can harm the company's sales value. So okay, I mean that suppliers plays an important role in the growth of marketing management. Marketer has to think about what about the availability of what the materials, what may be the cost, right? What may be if the supply will become shortages, it is very difficult to produce the goods and services. If automatically supplier will delays to supply the goods and services, right? We cannot simply assume that he will supply regularly his raw materials to my company, right? And we cannot believe that labors may become strikes at all, and automatically the natural disasters may occur, right? I mean that it is all one of the impact factor in the and it may be the damage towards the customer satisfaction in the long run. Hence, the marketer has to consider supplier is also one of the important forces, right? And the next point, that is marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries can help the company to promote, to sell, and to distribute its products to final buyers. Marketing intermediaries can help the company to promote, sell, and distribute its products to final buyers. They include, who are the marketing intermediaries here? Resellers, physical distribution firms, marketing services agencies. Yes. Marketing intermediaries can help the company to promote, sell, and distribute its products to final buyers. Who are the marketing intermediaries here? Resellers, physical distribution firms, marketing service agencies, and financial intermediaries. Right? Resellers and distribution channel firms that help the company to find customer or make sales to them. These include, for example, wholesalers and retailers who buy and resell merchandises. Selecting and partnering with the resellers is not easy, right? If I am the retailer, if I am the wholesaler, right? I will not take only one company's products. I will take the products of various companies, right? I will take various. That wholesalers as well as what retailers cannot force to the customers to sell particular products, right? It is depend upon the option of the retailers as well as what the wholesalers. So if I am the wholesaler, I am the wholesalers for X products. I am the wholesaler for Y product. I may become the wholesalers for what Z product, whatever it is, right? So that's why no longer do manufacturers have many small independent resellers from which they select, right? So that's why marketing intermediaries is also one of the important force or important actor comes under what? The micro environment. Very important thing is that the competitors. What do I mean by competitor here? I mean how the competitors are also one of the influencing forces or influencing actor on the marketing growth or growth of marketing activities. The marketing concept states that to be successful, the company must provide greater customer value and satisfaction than its competitors do. Right? What marketing concept says? Marketing is nothing but what? We should provide greater customer value and satisfaction by comparing to the competitors. So, marketers must do more than simply adapt to the needs of the target customers. They also must gain strategic advantage by positioning their offerings strongly against the competitors' offerings in the minds of the customer. Right? I mean that. So here they have to divide the market into the different groups. They have to position their products into the target customers' minds. All competitors are doing like this. All competitors are doing like this, right? So as a business manager or as a marketing manager, I should know about who is my competitor. What kind of, how he is providing value to the customer, how he is satisfying to the customer, and what are the strategies I have to take, what are the steps I have to take to satisfy my customer, right? So that's why no single competitive market strategy is best for all companies. Each firm should consider its own size and industry position compared to those of what the competitors, right? So that's why competitor is also one of the influencing forces on the micro environment, right? Public, very important thing, that is public. How public is also one of the influencing forces on marketing environment, right? A marketing environment also includes various publics. Public is nothing but what? Any group that has an actual or potential interest in or impact on organization's ability to achieve its objectives, right? Whatever it may be the objectives of the marketing or the company, if it has to achieve its objectives, right? The public is also, the public is also one of the, forces which affect to accomplish your objectives, right? So that's why we have to understand what is public here. Public may be divided into different, that is financial public, media public, government public, citizen action public, local public, general public, and internal public. We should discuss financial public. What is financial public, right? This group influences the company's ability to obtain funds. Yeah, I need funds from the different sources. I need finance. Finance is the lifeblood of the business organization. So that's why whatever, either it may be a small business organization, either it may be a large business organization, I need funds. I need funds in the sense I have to approach the financial intermediaries or financial institutions. I need an investment. I have to approach the banks. I have to approach the shareholders, right? Shareholders, investment analysts, as well as what the banks are the major financial publics, right? I have to approach them. I have to collect the fund from them. So that's why if they will not finance immediately to your product, your company, isn't it? So I have to convince them as a marketing manager. I have to convince them and I have to attract them to invest their money into my business organization, right? And they're all observing about, okay, what kind of value you are providing to the customer, how you will generate the fund, or how you will make the profit. They will ask everything, right? We have to answer to the questions raised by the public. That is what financial public, like bankers, investors, or stockholders, etc. Right? Hence, the financial public is also one of the forces or influencing forces on marketing environment. Next thing is that media public. What is media public here? This group carries news. Okay. I mean that the one group and the media public carries the news about the goods and services, the news about my company, right? I mean, I have to opine. I mean, company has to give, someone has to give opinion about my company. I mean, what kind of products I am producing, what kind of services I am providing, right? What kind of strategy I am taking, what may be the cost. I have to provide in detail information about the public at all. I mean, stakeholders of my business. So that's why media plays an important role. How the media is providing an information about your products or about your company. For example, maybe what the news, they will write about my company, they will write about your company, or they will write about your products in the newspaper, TV stations. They will write in their blogs, as well as what the internet media or social. Nowadays, social medias are very strong. Social medias, through the help of the social medias, your information about the goods and services or the company should be spread through the help of what the social media. So hence, media public is also one of the important public to be considered by the marketing manager. And next point is that government public. Government public. Management must take government developments into account. So there is a direct link between the business as well as what the government at all. So the marketers must often consult the company lawyers on the issues of the product safety. I mean, the government of India as well as government of Karnataka is putting a different laws, right? Different laws. There is, already I said that there is a direct link between the government as well as what the business, right? So that's why what kind of product safety measures I had taken. If some customers will went to the court of law, what I have to do? If the government will seize my company, see, if I am not going in the right way, everything will become problem to us. So that's why the management must take government developments into account. Marketers must often consult the company's lawyers on the issues of product safety, truth in advertisements, and any other different matters, right? Next, citizen action public. A company's marketing decisions may be questioned by consumer organizations. Yeah, there are so many consumer organizations. The present in the 21st century, a lot of organizations are playing an important role in the growth of the marketing activities, right? Citizen action public is nothing but what consumer organizations like environmental groups and minority groups, whatever it may be. It's public relations department. I mean, every company how to formulate the public relation department. I mean, we are public relation department. It can help to stay in touch with the consumer as well as what the citizens group at all, right? So that's why citizen action public is also one of the influencing forces on the growth of the marketing activities, right? And the local publics. What do you mean by local public? This group includes neighborhood residents and community organizations. This group includes neighborhood residents and community organizations. Large companies have usually create departments as well as programs that deal with the local community issues and provide community supports. I mean what? Local people, right? Local, and this group includes the neighborhood residents, right? The people who are surrounded by us, our community organizations, right? In case of large companies, they usually create the departments and programs that deal with the local. What may be the local? What are the local issues or issues of the local community, and they will support to the development of what the local community. So this is about what one of the point. And so local community is also including general public as well as what the internal public. What is general public? A company needs to be concerned about the general public attitude towards the product. I mean that, what about the general public? What is the opinion of the general public about my goods or about my products as well as what the activities? I mean that your image, the image of the product is depend upon what may be the public's image of the company. It will affect on the buying it out. And internal public means this group includes workers management. How the management is, how this group includes workers, management, volunteers and the board of directors. Isn't it? Internal public is nothing but what? The workers who are working in my company, the management and the volunteers and the board of directors. Right? Particularly in large companies use newsletters and other means to inform and motivate the internal public. Right? I mean they will give a detailed information to the people who are working in the company. Right? For example, when employees feel good about the companies they work for, right? This positive attitude spills over to the external public at all, right? So this is about what? The micro environment, right? This is about what? The micro environment. In next class, I will discuss about the macro environment. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I discussed in the previous class. I discussed about the micro environmental forces. I covered the whole concept of micro environment. Now I am going to explain about what is macro environment. What is macro environment? How the micro environmental forces is affecting on the marketers' decisions, like that there are so many macro environmental forces which are also affecting the marketer's decision, right? So that's why we should know about what is macro environment first. Macro environment is nothing but the company and all other actors operate in the larger macro environment of forces that shape opportunities and pose threats to the company. I mean, what is macro environment? The company and all of the other actors operate in the larger macro environment of the forces that shape the opportunities and pose threats to the company. I mean, the company will take a lot of opportunities as well as what the company will face a lot of threats, right? So that's why how the environmental forces, particularly the macro environmental forces, will affect on the marketer's decision, that we are going to study, right? The first say these are what the major forces in the company's macro environment. The first point is that demographic environment, second point economic environment, third point natural environment, technological environment, political environment and the cultural environment, right? So we should study one by one. Right? First point is that demographic environment. What is demographic environment? Before going to know about demographic environment, we should discuss about what is demography. Demography is the study of human populations in terms of size, density, location, age, gender, race and occupation and other statistics. Right? What is demography? Demography is the study of human populations. We should know about the size of the population. We should know about the density of the population, location where the people are staying, age of the people, age of the customer, gender, occupation, what they are doing. So we should know. What demography is the study of human population in terms of size, density, location, age, gender, race, occupation, and other statistics. Right. So what is demographic environment? Demographic environment is a major interest to the marketers because it involves people. Demographic environment is of major interest to marketers because it involves people and the people make up the markets, right? So in the global business organization system, right, we are going to know about what is demography. Demography is nothing but what? It includes the population, right? We are going to know about the different kinds of population. What kind of people are there in the market, how they are one of the impacting factor on the company's growth, right? See, at present day, the world population is growing at an exponential rate. The population is growing on. For example, it is now exceeds 7 billion people and it is expected to grow more than 8 million by the year 2030. The world's large and highly diverse population poses both opportunities and challenges, right? Changes in the world demographic environment have major implications for the business. What I said, changes in the world demographic environment have major implications for business. So that's why marketers keep a close eye. The marketer should know, marketers should keep a close eye on demographic trends and developments in their market. Right? That the marketer should know about what may be the demographical changes and demographical developments, what is occurring in the present business world. So this is about what is demographic environment. Further, the first point, how the age structure of the population is affecting. The age structure of the population is affecting, changing age structure of the population is affecting towards the marketer's decision, right? The first point is that the changing age structure of the population is dealing with the help of some points, that is the baby boomers, generation X, millennials, generation Y, and generational marketing, right? The first point, baby boomers. Baby boomers is also, it is also one of the structure of the population, right? The post-World War II baby boom produced 78 million baby boomers who were born between 1946 and 1964. That the baby boomers are who born between 1946 to 1964. Over the years, baby boomers have been one of the most powerful forces shaping the marketing environment. The youngest boomers are now moving into their 50s. The oldest are in their late 60s and entering retirement. The maturing boomers are rethinking the purpose and value of their work, responsibilities and relationships. Right? That the marketer should know about who are the baby boomers. How the man, when the man will born, and the ages changes. The age of the man is changing day by day. His needs, his desires, his trend to purchase the goods and services are also changing. Right? So that's why the baby boomer is also one of the age structure of the population. Right? And generation X, next point. When the baby boom was followed by the birth death, creating another generation, that is what a baby generation generation X, right? The 49 million people born between 1965 to 1976. What is generation X here? Generation X is nothing but the people who born between 1965 and 1976. The author Douglas Coupland called them as generation X because they lie in the shadow of the boomers and lack obvious distinguishing characteristics, right? So this is about what the concept. That the marketer should identify who is the generation Xers, who are the baby boomers, whether I am producing the products, whether I am marketing the products for the baby boomers, or I am marketing the products for generation Xers. Say for example, from 19 nowadays in this 21st century at all, the customers are belongs to generation X, right, R and generation Y. Nowadays, I mean that at present day, the customers are, majority of the customer or some portion of the customers are belongs to generation X throughout the world, not only in India. Isn't it? I may say, he says that 49 million people born between 1965 to 1976, right? They are also one of the major determining factor. They are also one of the major determining factor on marketers' decisions, right? And the third point that is generation Y. Generation Y. Generation Y means both baby boomers and generation Xers will one day be passing their revenge to the millennials. I mean that the person who born between 1977 to 2000, right? The people who born between 1977 to 2000, they are called as what? Generation Y. Now, I mean that the people nowadays, the customers group, I mean that the age structure of the population is now generation Y also. Not only generation X, generation Y. Isn't it? I mean that, say for example, these children of baby boomers number more than 83 million or more throughout the world. Isn't it? So this is about what? Generation baby boomers, generation X and generation Y. And very important thing, that is what? Generational marketing. What is generational marketing? Right? Marketers need to create separate products and marketing programs for each generation. Right? I mean that now the present marketing system is called as what? The generational marketing, based on the age structure of the people. The marketer has to create the market for the ultimate customers. Right? Baby boomers ho gaya, generation X completed, generation Y. Right? Now see here, at the present day, there are so many customers. Generation Y we are calling it, I am calling it generation X, as well as what? The baby boomers, right? I mean that the marketers need to create separate products and marketing programs for each generation. Some experts warn the marketers, some marketing experts warn the marketers need to be careful about turning up one generation each time they craft a product or a message that appeals effectively to another. Others caution that each generation spans decades of time and many socio-economic levels. Right? So this is about what? The points relating to how the factors influencing on what? The environment, that is what? Changing age structure of the population, which comes under what? Which comes under what do you call that? Demographical environment, right? And changing family size also. Very important thing, that changing family size. The traditional household consists of a husband, wife and children, and sometimes grandparents, right? I mean that the marketer should know about the family size. The family size is also changing, right? Only one person is there in the home, what about his needs? And housewife, I mean that wife, husband and wife, and husband and children. I mean that the marketer should identify the ideal family. They should know married couples. Marketers should know about the married couples. Marketers should identify unmarried people, divorced people, joint family, divided family. Based on that, say for example, divided family, if it is a divided family, they are very free to purchase the goods and services. Joint family, it is a restricted family, one household, head of the family, he will take the decision, right? And divorced people, married people or unmarried people, their needs, their ideas, their fashions, their trends is totally different. Hence the marketer should know about the changing family size. Also, the marketer should also know that working couple and working woman, single children people, never children. Isn't it? I mean that the marketer should know about the marketer should know about the working people, the person who is working couple, If both are working, husband and wife, they are working, I mean that their attitude, their behavior, their purchasing power, their style, their standard of living is totally different by comparing to what a working woman. I mean, but only working woman is there, or a single, the parents who are having only single children, or the parents who are not having any children, right? These are all comes under what the changing family size, right? This is also one of the impact factor on the marketing environment. And very important thing is that geographical shifts in the population. Say for example, marketers should understand the great migratory movements in India. The people are not staying constantly in one place. They are moving from rural area to the metropolitan cities, right? And educated people or uneducated people, white collared employee, blue collared employee, right? I mean that population is totally different. The population is totally different. I mean professional people is different, white collared people is different, educated people are different, right? So that's why the marketer should know the education level of the customer as well as what the employed persons with their job positions, right? So this is about what one, that is what the demographical environment, right? Demographical environment. And next point, very important, that is what economic environment, right? Economic environment is also one of the influencing factor on the marketing manager's decision. The economic environment consists of economic factors that affect consumer purchasing power and spending patterns. Marketers must pay close attention to major trends and consumer spending patterns, both across as well as what within their world markets, right? I mean that, so the nations vary greatly in their levels and distribution income. Some countries have industrial economies which constitute rich markets for many different kinds of goods. At the extreme are subsistence economies. They consume most of their own agricultural and industrial output after offer few marketing opportunities. In between are called as what developing economies. I mean that developing economies is nothing but between the industrial economies as well as what the subsistence economies that can offer outstanding market opportunities for the right kind of the product. So that's why economic environment deals with the help of what all these things, right? As a marketer, you should know and correctly about what kind of environmental economic changes is happening at the business organization, right? And so economic environment deals with the help of what changes in the consumer spending. See, economic factors have a dramatic effect on consumer spending and buying behavior. They are buying less or looking for a greater value in the things, right? They are buying, I mean that customers are thinking about, okay, I will purchase less, but if I am the customer, I will purchase less, but I need greater value, right, in my products. That will likely persist for years to come at all. In turn, value marketing has become the watchword for many marketers. I mean that it is not only called as what the marketing here, value marketing. Not only the consumer marketing, competitor marketing, it is called as what? The value marketing. It has become the watchword for many marketers, right? Marketers in all industries are looking for ways to offer today's more financially frugal buyers greater value. Just the right combination of the product quality and good service at a fair price, right? And income distribution, right? I mean, income distribution is not static throughout the world as well as what the nations. Marketers should pay attention to income distribution as well as income levels. Over the past several decades, the rich have grown richer, the middle has shrinking now, and the poor have remained poor. The distribution of income has created tiered markets, right? I mean that in the market there is no economy. I mean that income level of the consumers are static here, constantly low, isn't it? So I mean richer will become richer, poorer will become poor. Changes in the major economic variables such as what the income, right? The income of each person, income of the country, income of the state is also differs. Like that income of a person is also different, right? Standard of living is also different. Interest rate is also different. Savings and borrowing patterns are also different. These are all have a large impact on the marketplace. So companies watch these variables by using economic forecasting. Every company has to retain one of the economic forecast. They have to suggest more and more. Okay, what may be happen in the present day, right? If the cost of, for example, if say for example COVID-19 at present day COVID-19, right? The income level of the consumers is reduced. The cost of living of the persons is also reduced. Interest rate is also reduced. Savings and borrowing patterns have been changed. So that's why companies have to watch all these variables by using economic forecasting, right? And business do not have to be wiped out by any economic downturn or caught short term in boom, right? With adequate warning, they can take advantage of the changes in the economic environment, right? And very important environment, that is what natural environment. The natural environment, it is also one of the major force or the factors which is affecting on marketing decisions, right? The natural environment, what is natural environment here, right? I mean, the natural environment involves the physical environment and the natural resources that are needed as inputs by marketers that are affected by marketing activities. At the most basic level, unexpected happenings in the physical environment or anything from weather or natural disasters can affect companies and their marketing strategies, right? Say for example, whether we will COVID-19, here we are facing, whole world is facing COVID-19, whether we can call it as a natural disaster, right? Whether we can call it as a natural disaster, of course, it is natural, right? I mean, either it may be born in China, now it came, I mean, it's spread throughout the world. One of the problems that is what overall, it is becoming quite natural, isn't it? And at the border level, environmental sustainability concerns have grown steadily over the past 3 decades, right? I mean, why? Yeah, of course, I mean, the marketers should think about what environmental concerns, right? In many cities around the world, air and water pollutions have reached dangerous levels because of what a huge development in water industry. World concern continues to mount about the possibilities of global warming, and many environmentalists fear that we soon will be buried in our own trash. So that's why there may be a lot of there may be a lot of natural environmental forces which are affecting to the marketers at all. Marketers should be aware of several trends in the natural environment. The marketers should be aware of several trends in the natural environment. First of all, it involves growing shortages of raw materials. For example, if the natural environment is not correct, right, it may lead to what shortage of raw materials. Air and water may seem to be infinite resources, right? But some groups see long-run dangers. Air pollution chokes many of the world's large cities, and water shortages are already a big problem in some parts of the world. So that's why concern, I mean what? The business concern or the marketer's concern for the natural environment has spawned a so-called green movement now, right? I mean green environment, green movement. Today, enlightened companies go beyond what government regulations dictate, right? I mean that government will formulate certain different types of guidelines towards the protection of what? The environment, right? They are developing strategies and practices that support environmental sustainability. So that's why the natural environment, as a marketer you should know what kind of natural environment is there at the present world, isn't it? And what is your concern towards the natural environment? It is very essential, right? And very important thing, that is the technological environment. Right? I mean, the technological environment is perhaps the most dramatic forces now shaping our destiny. Technology has reached such wonders as antibiotics, robotic surgery, small electronics, smartphone, and assault rifles. Right? It has reached mixed blessings as the automobile, television, and credit cards. Our attitude towards the technology depends on whether we are more impressed with its wonders or its blunders, right? Our attitude towards the technology depends on whether we are more impressed with its wonders or its blunders. I mean, new technologies can offer exciting opportunities for the marketers, right? The technological environment changes rapidly. Think of all today's common products that were not available 100 years ago or even 30 years ago. New technologies create new market. New technologies create new opportunities. Every new technology replaces an older technology. As production technology becomes more complex nowadays, the public needs to know that these items are safe. Right? The government agencies investigate and ban potentially unsafe products at all. Right? So this is about what technological environment. Right? And next point is that the political and social environment. The political and social environment. Right? The marketing, whatever it may be, the marketing decisions are strongly affected by the developments in the political environment. The political environment consists of the laws, the government agencies, and the pressure book groups that influence or limit various organizations and individuals in a given society. Right? For example, political environment in the sense legislation. Right? There may be a direct link between the government as well as what the business. Right? I mean, even strongest advocates of the free market economies agrees that system works best with at least some regulation. What kind of the regulation to be formulated by the government? It may be whether these regulations are favorable to the business or not favorable to the business. Hence, it is also called as what one of the factors. Political environment is also one of the factor which is affecting on the business. Right? I mean, for example, well-construed regulation can encourage competition and ensure fair markets for goods and services. And the government develop public policy to guide commerce, sets up laws and regulations that limit business for good of the society as a whole. So almost every marketing activity is subject to a wide range of laws and regulations. Right? Next point is that increased emphasis on ethics and socially responsible actions. Right? Written regulation cannot possibly cover all potential marketing abuses. Existing laws are often difficult to enforce. However, beyond written laws and regulations, business is also governed by social codes and rules of professional ethics. Right? I mean that the marketer should know about what is ethics and what is social responsibility. Right? I mean the marketer should show the socially responsible behavior. And also society needs from the business organization. Society is also expecting from the business organization that we should be a socially responsible or morally responsible. Right? Enlightened companies encourage their managers to look beyond what the regulatory system allows and simply do the right things. I mean that government is also telling the company do the right things. The socially responsible firms actively seek out ways to protect the long-run interest of their customers and the environment. Right? Every aspects of the marketing activities involve ethics and social responsibility issues. Right? And the second point is that cause-related marketing. Right? What is cause-related marketing here? The social responsibility, to exercise social responsibility and build more positive images, many companies are now linking themselves to worthwhile causes. These days, every product seems to be tied with some causes. Right? What is cause-related marketing here? It is mutually beneficial collaboration between the corporation and non-profit designed to promote the farmer sales and letters cause. Right? It is the mutually beneficial collaboration between a company and a non-profit designed motto to promote the farmer sales. I mean, trust. What is the sales? How we have to sell what we sold to the customers, right? So we have to collaborate with the non-profit organizations as well as what our company to promote the sales as well as what may happens. This is about what the cause-related the cause-related marketing, right? And next point is that the cultural environment, right? What is cultural environment here? The cultural environment consists of institutions and other forces that affect a society's basic values, perceptions, preferences, and behaviors. People grow up in a particular society that shapes their basic beliefs and values. They absorbs a world view that defines their relationship with others. I mean that what is cultural environment, right? I mean in society there may be a lot of social institutions. There are so many social institutions. The society's basic, the society's values will become different. The society's perception will become different. The society's preference will become different. Right? Their behavior is also become different. So that's why how the people are developing a particular society, that a particular society will shape their basic beliefs as well as what the values. Right? To understand this, you can understand the cultural characteristics affecting marketing decision making. Right? Yeah. First point, that is what persistence of cultural values. Right? Persistence of cultural values. So what is cultural values here? People in a given society hold many beliefs and values. Their core beliefs and values have a high degree of persistence. For example, I mean that the core beliefs, I mean that every person, the person who is staying in the society, he has his own beliefs, he has his own ideas, he has his own traditions, he has his own customs, right? For example, what in America particularly, Americans believe in individual freedom, right? Hard work, getting married, achievement and success, right? What about the India? Right? So Indian belief, Indian values, right? We are not individual freedom here. We have to obey what our parents says. We have to obey what society says, isn't it? I mean, some people are working hard, some people are not working hard, right? So it is what the different. I mean, cultural values from one country to another country may become different. I mean that the beliefs shape more specific attitudes and behaviors. Beliefs will changes the attitudes and behaviors, right, of a person. So that's why core beliefs and values are passed on from parents to children, right? Yatha raja tata praja, yatha raja tata praja. I mean that if I am the parent, if I am the father, what kind of value I am transferring to my children's? If my values are good, if my values are correct, if my values are legal, right? How I am thinking, like that, society's contribution towards the development of values among the people of the society is very, it is very important, right? How schools are teaching to the students, how churches are teaching the people, how business is creating value, how government is formed and how government is formulating certain different policies. It's also one of the important thing, right? And shifts in secondary cultural values. Shifts in secondary cultural values. Cultural swings to take place. For example, the popular music groups or movie personalities and other celebrities of young people, hairstyle, right? Say for example, every customer in India is adopted one, role model, right? Marketers want to predict the, right? If I am the marketer, okay, everything. For example, there may be a fans of film stars. There are so many people who are the fans of what sports stars, right? So what is their value? This value, cultural values, is also shifting from one generation to another generation. For example, people views of themselves. People views of themselves in the sense how I am serving myself, right? Whether I am serving themselves, whether I am serving myself, or whether I am serving for others. If I am the business, whether I am running the business organization for my own behalf, or whether I am running the business organization for the society, it is what view. It is what one kind of what the value people's views on themselves, right? And people views of others in the sense people's attitude towards and interactions with others. In some, views of others in the sense are organizations, right? People's views of organizations means people vary in their attitude towards the corporations, the government agencies, the trade unions, the universities and the other organizations. By and large, people are willing to work for a major organization and expect them. Okay, I have to work in Infosys, I have to work in Tata company, I have to work in Procter and Gamble, right? I have to work in a different sophisticated company, right? What is their expectations? I mean that these are all one of the values, isn't it? That's why it is also changing day by day, right? People's views of society, right? People are different in their attitude towards their society, right? Right? The reformers want to change it, right? Say, I mean that the people are different in their attitudes towards their society. For example, patriots depend it, reformers want to change it, right? And malcontents want to live it. People's orientation, their society influences their consumption patterns and attitudes towards the marketplace, right? The market has to understand, okay, what is the people's views of the society, people's views on society, people's views on organization, people's views on themselves, right? And people's views on nature at all. People are different in their attitude towards the natural world. For example, some feel ruled by it, others feel in the harmony, right? For example, I'm very safety in the nature. I'm feeling that, okay, I'm very safety in the nature. Some people, no, I am not safety in this nature. I mean that still others seeks to master it. A long-term trend has been people bring mastery over, mastery over the nature through technology, right? Through technology and belief that nature is bountiful, right? More recently, people have recognized that nature is finite and fragile. It can be destroyed or spoiled by human activities, right? I mean that. So this is about what is the views of the people on nature, right? And the last thing, that people views of the universe, right? People vary in their beliefs about the origin of the universe and their place in it, right? I mean that, for example, most of the American practice religious conviction and practice have been dropping off gradually through the years. According to the recent poll, 16% of the Americans now say they are not affiliated with any particular faith, almost double percentage of 18 years earlier. Among Americans ages 18 to 25, 18 to 19, 18 to 29, 25% says that they are not currently affiliated with any particular religion, right? I mean that, so this may be changes from days when the days are goes on. I mean that the fact that people are dropping out organized religion does not mean that they are abandoning their faith, right? Some futurists have denoted a renowned interest in a spirituality, right? So this is, I mean that, so these are all one of the points which comes under what the cultural characteristics affecting marketing decision. As a marketing manager, you should know about the cultural values. Cultural environment, highly focusing about what the cultural values. There may be a lot of shifts in the cultural values, right? So this is about what the micro as well as what the macro environment. So this is about what analyzation of marketing environment. Thank you.